Today, we here in the CNN newsroom are going to look at the problem of corruption in healthcare systems.
This is Kateryna with CNN. GlaxoSmithKline has sold anti-malarial drugs to Uganda, and Ugandan citizens, 15% of the people who received the drugs, ended up with severe side effects from those drugs, and they are now in the hospital. What happened?
Currently, there is, as everyone knows, there's high incidence of malaria in Uganda, and there is a program going on right now to try and reduce the serious illness associated with malaria. So we have been partnering with a number of organizations to deliver anti-malarial drugs to people. Unfortunately, what seems to be happening is people who are receiving these drugs are becoming very ill and requiring immediate hospitalization and medical attention. We have spoken with the pharmaceutical company, and they have not been overly helpful other than to say that they are selling the drugs to the Ugandan government. We're not receiving any word back from the Ugandan government, so we'd like to get to the bottom of this issue and find out exactly where the disconnect is happening and if the drugs are bad, or when they're delivered from the pharmaceutical company, or if they are bad coming from the government.
Uganda has nothing to do with that. GSK gave us faulty drugs. It's completely their fault. They are behind the bribes. We are aware that there are many people within our own government that have accepted the bribes, and they will be held accountable. However, Uganda was not aware of any of this, and the blame is completely on them.
The Americas region, Latin America, and the United States of America discussed whether public or private healthcare is the most optimal system to reduce corruption. On one hand, the public healthcare system would naturally have more corruption in a sense, because corruption is, by definition, is public abuse of office for private gain. However, private systems could also lead to corruption, and Brazil noted that, in fact, private healthcare is an abuse of human rights. Is that too strong of a statement? We'll find out. Hello, this is Kateryna from CNN, and I'm here with a delegate from Antigua. Antigua has a public healthcare system, and corruption is abuse of public office to private gain. Thus, corruption can occur in the healthcare system of Antigua. What kind of solutions are you looking for?
Well, currently, as you mentioned, Antigua and Barbuda operates predominantly on a public healthcare system. Thus, one of our goals to attenuate corruption within our healthcare system is to expand our private healthcare options, looking into investing in private healthcare insurance. This would limit bribery and unofficial payments that we currently experience in our healthcare system and are a major contributor to the corruption of Antigua and Barbuda's healthcare.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm Kateryna with CNN, and I'm here with a delegate from Brazil. As we've discussed earlier, today we talked about whether a private healthcare system is better than the public one. And you mentioned that a private one would be an abuse of human rights. Why?
A private system by itself is... Most countries have both. That's the ideal. So where a system is solely private, you have a situation where people are cut off from access, or some strata of the population is unable to access healthcare. Health is a human right. You can't say, no, I'm not giving this drug because you don't need it. It's so unfair and so unequal.
And how does that relate to corruption?
So, well, the point is where one exists and one doesn't. It's always, where one system exists entirely, there's always a possibility for abuse.
So you're advocating for a mixed system?
I'm not advocating one over the other. To say that wholly privatize your health system is not.
But what a wholly just a public one is not without
That's yet to be determined. We don't know yet. Brazil has a mixed one, so we're happy.
You mentioned earlier that a private healthcare system is a violation of human rights. Why do you say that?
A totally private system, if it excludes people from access to healthcare, which is a human right, that's a violation. To say that somebody can't access healthcare because they can't afford the insurance.
Okay.
It's a fundamentally unsupposed So to have division of the two, which most countries do have, a public and a private system is probably a fair way of doing that because you're reaching all of people.
Okay. And how does access relate to corruption?
Well, access relates to corruption. Thank you. Thank you.
So everyone's just starting to get here.
One.
And how does access relate to corruption?
So when people don't have access, then they're looking to do fraud. Or do we have to go to an alternative source and say buy counterfeit drug or to let them know? Serious. So when people don't have access,
Not at all. I think we just have a poster.
okay.
That is hopefully on the way.
You're also better.
This is Kateryna with CNN. Amnesty International and MSF are both dissatisfied with China, and they have claimed that China has serious issues in terms of corruption in their healthcare systems. We'll discover what happened.
That are being administered through my workers to patients who have now reported to the hospital with side effects. We confronted the provincial government and they refused to give us actual papers. They've tried to bribe my workers, so I've drawn them out because Medicine Sans Frontières does not work with that. So I don't understand where the miscommunication has happened, but this level of corruption and bribery with my workers is not okay.
The issue with China is that they have a lot of political prisoners in general, and they're kind of using them against their will. There's a lot of testing on pharmaceuticals that goes against without their consent. There's organ harvesting, specifically in the Falun and Gong. As well, they also use them as a source of free labor, so that's why they are able to produce such low-priced, competitive products that kind of go across the ocean and across the markets and are able to kind of take advantage of that.
So you're going to completely disregard the fact that I have health charts saying that my patients are not okay after the administration of illegitimate drugs.
I'm going to totally disregard that. I don't believe that these are your workers. I don't know where they're getting their medication from. So provide me with a proof of this prescription medication, all these drugs, drug trials, and how they're ineffective, these side effects that you talk about, and then we'll see. We'll see where we go.
Kateryna with CNN. This is Kateryna with CNN. GSK has sold anti-malarial drugs that were at their first trial phase to Uganda. They're now selling them to China. We learned this from Pfizer.
As a Pfizer representative, we are very, very keen on transparency, and so it is disappointing to our company to have to reveal that GSK is planning on carrying out clinical trials in China, taking over from Merck's trials.
Uganda just admitted that they were bribed by GSK in order to receive very dangerous anti-malarial drugs. But GSK has not issued a statement saying that they were at fault. Do you have any opinions about this issue?
However, whatever did happen, or if GSK did bribe them, or if they did it and if someone else, I believe that we are here to try to move on from this type of corruption, which is happening a lot in our country. And that
Given the current state of GSK and their anti-malarial drugs in Uganda, Merck has opted to support Uganda by providing anti-malarials instead of GSK.
The Republic of Uganda is very, very pleased and happy that Merck & Company is willing to work with us towards reducing corruption.
And we would like to address the allegations that Oxfam has been supporting corrupt practices in Uganda, and we are also withdrawing our support from GSK.
Transparency International, who have agreed to withdraw support from GSK until they can clean up their actions.
Uganda. However, Merck said that it is acceptable in certain situations to issue phase 1 trial drugs. So they are in fact going to be doing the same thing. And the phase 1 trial drugs are very dangerous, and they have caused sickness in 15% of the population in Uganda who have taken these drugs. Kateryna with CNN, and I'm here with a representative from Italy.
Hello.
He's currently working on a program called MonWHO. which is going to prevent from corrupt projects from taking place in the first place.
Italy believes that working with NGOs on the ground in the nations where these projects will be taking place is an incredibly important step. Because NGOs are already there in place, they're already actively monitoring corruption, they would be there to help us see what's going on and to raise alarms and raise flags that will tell us that a project is being corrupted, so that the governments and partners involved in the project will be able to intervene as it's going on. The way these WHO Catch work is that we would rank projects, of course, based off of indexes of corruptibility. The indexes of corruptibility would take into account the relative development of these countries. So we would say, okay, so this country has a long history of corruption, for example, but here are the recommendations that, if put in place, we know would make these projects more sustainable. If they choose to enter into these analyses, they will be showing the world that they are ready to take on new projects. They are ready to fight corruption. So that will be raising their profile and also the profile of the project, because their project will be listed. People will know about it. There will be interest generated because the project will be listed in the WHO Catch database, and it'll be, like I said, a step to fight corruption. So people will know that these countries are ready to start fighting, and people will look to these countries as future partners because they'll be making the statement, we're here, we're ready to fight corruption, and we want to know how to do it.
This is Kateryna with CNN, and I'm interviewing a delegate from Germany. Are you a supporter of a program WHO Catch?
Yes. We believe that having an organization within the WHO will help stop corruption in all developing countries, but also in developed countries, because corruption is rampant. We would definitely have measures to punish, and we would definitely have measures to regulate, first of all, and to have punishment for those who impinge on our regulations and our legislation.
This is Kateryna with CNN, and I went on a mission to discover who people chose as the most good-looking delegate at the conference. Let's find out their answers. Could you please tell me, which delegate did you find the most good-looking at the conference?
Oh, this is a tough one that takes me off guard. Well, that's easy. I mean, it's clearly.
Which delegate did you find the most good-looking at the conference?
No comment.
You know, from.
However, in nations where they don't have access to a wide internet resource, or nations where
I believe that each delegate has their own advantages and unique qualities.
I don't know, they're all pretty good looking. The UK would like to remain neutral on that issue. However, I will say that a number of the European delegates are quite on their game at this conference.
I guess Italy singing is pretty attractive, I don't know.
Italy does not comment on these things because we believe that all delegates are valuable, and that picking favorites like that could just be could lead to unnecessary divisions within the committee.
This is a hard one. I'm going to go with the delegate from Tanzania, just because she is a great small talker.
Amore mio, stasera è feste allora un po' bevuto, chi vuol scordar fa come faccio io, che per I baci tuoi mi son perduto, in fondo a quel bicchiere traditore, ho visto balenare.
Eye-opening, compelling, truthful. Signing off from CNN, this has been the Corruption Report. And that's the way it is, because Ron Steele says so.